snap! There's the kick! It's gone! Oh my gosh! The kick is gone!
Boston Sports Nerds present Joe's Fantasy Field Goal.
What's up, guys? Week 2 is in the books, and some of you are probably sitting pretty. Some of you are probably like, what the fuck is going on in the NFL right now? Throughout my 6 leagues, I'm definitely a little bit of both. Some guys that we really expected to show out. I was thinking about this the other day. Think about the 5 guaranteed, no doubt studs that were drafted at running back. Your first top 5 running backs, right? So you got David Johnson, it's done for the year. Lev Bell, pretty much back-to-back mediocre games. Then you got Zeke, who had a really good first game and had 1 yard less than Tom Brady last night. Then you got LaShawn McCoy, who had a great, amazing first game. I think 12 yards rushing yesterday. And then you have Devonta Freeman, DeMarco Murray. Let's say DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray has shit the bed twice now. I think he's got 4 points on the year or something like that. Fantasy points. Devonta Freeman's been good. Melvin Gordon's been good. Jordan Howard has been awful. Todd Gurley's been really good. Jay Ajayi looked good in his debut, but that's only 1 game. It's just been a weird season so far. But I'm here to help you navigate it. With all that being said, we're going to have a normal show here. We got the streams first, then some waiver wire wonders, and then I'm going to go game by game and tell you who I like and who I don't like and whether you should play anyone in that game. So let's start with the streams for this week. Quarterback and defenses.
Islands in the stream, that is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong?
Alright, so let's start with the quarterback streams. I have 3 quarterback streams here, and 2 of the 3, one I'm okay with. Just in general, I think he'll be pretty good this year, or decent. But the other 2 of the 3, I can't even believe I'm recommending that you stream them, but they've just been good enough these first 2 games that I'm buying in to their play against subpar defenses that would make them a quality streaming candidate. So we're going to start off the list with a person who shined so bright last night against the Dallas Cowboys. And yes, I'm talking about that Trevor Siemian. He is playing Buffalo at Buffalo this week. And I know we just saw Cam go there and he was meh. The entire Panthers just sucked. But Buffalo is still not a good defense. Don't buy into that game. I think that's a lot more to say about the Panthers' offense than Buffalo's defense. Trevor Siemian just showed out against the Cowboys, and he showed out against the Chargers. I'm just buying into what Trevor Siemian's doing, and I don't like it as a Pats fan. I'm starting to get a little scared of Denver if that defense is still as good. Still questioning that. But if that defense is still as good as it was, or as it has been in the past, and if Trevor Siemian actually starts becoming a good quarterback, and so far he looks like it. So Trevor Siemian is my first stream, and I'm actually streaming him with confidence. He's probably my second choice out of these three, but he's probably one of the most likely to be available. My second choice is Jay Cutler, and he's playing at the Jets. Jay Cutler's, in my opinion, is the most talented quarterback on this list. He also has the best matchup. The Jets are terrible. And Jay Cutler looked pretty good against the Chargers last night. I keep saying last night. I'm talking about Sunday night. This is going to come out on Tuesday, and I'm recording it Monday night. So disregard if that doesn't make any sense to some of you. I'm talking about Sunday night. But Jay Cutler looked pretty good against the Chargers on Sunday night, and he's got a much better matchup against the Jets. So I'm buying in on Jay Cutler, and he's probably my number one pick out of these three, and he's probably available in most leagues. A lot of people just don't think Jay Cutler is going to be very good this year. I kind of disagree. He should be available. If he is, pick up Jay Cutler. If he's not, I'd imagine these other two are definitely available. Trevor Siemian, and my third guy here, Jared Goff. Yes, I did just throw up in my mouth a little bit as I said it. Yes, you probably did the same when you heard me say it. But Jared Goff has looked pretty good. Not stupendous, not amazing, but good enough to get the job done against a very, very, very bad San Francisco defense in San Francisco. They've been leaning on the running game, which takes a lot of the pressure off Goff, and he has been performing well. They finally got him some weapons over there. They got an offensive line that doesn't look horrendously bad. And if you're in a pinch and you need a streamer, I like Jared Goff this week. San Francisco hasn't been very good. They did play the Seahawks last week, very close. But again, I think that has a lot more to do with the Seahawks' offensive struggles and not San Francisco's defense actually being very good. So yes, I'm buying in to Jared Goff this week as a streamer in a very plus matchup against the San Francisco 49ers in San Francisco. Actually, a weird trend I saw with all of my streams is they're all the away team. I've picked the away team or the away quarterback for all of these streams. None of them are at home. So that's kind of weird. But yes, Jared Goff at San Francisco. That is my third and last quarterback streamer. We will move on to the defensive streams. For the defensive streams, I have 5 here. So some might be more than 50% owned. I'm guessing the Ravens are pretty owned at this point. Maybe the Steelers too, or the Falcons. But there should definitely be someone in this 5 that you can play and feel good about. So we'll go right into the defensive streams. My first one, number 1, is the Ravens at Jacksonville. The Ravens have looked super studly on defense against Cincinnati and against the Cleveland Browns. And Jacksonville, while they put up a good week the first week, they didn't quite perform. Sorry. They didn't quite perform as well as they had the first week against the Titans, who don't have nearly as good of a defense as the Ravens. So, and Blake Bortles is still their quarterback, so I'm counting on probably an interception, maybe a fumble, maybe a pick 6. That's all well on the table with Jacksonville versus the Ravens and with Blake Bortles back there at quarterback. So I really like that matchup. The Ravens might be tough to pick up. They've been playing so well that I imagine someone has them as their defense. But if they're available, go grab them. Next up on the list is the Steelers at Chicago. I'm going to have to edit some of these out. I'm yawning way too much. I record these late at night, so on Monday night after I worked all day, and to get them out for you guys on Tuesday, and it's right when how little sleep I got is hitting me. But the next on the list is the Steelers at Chicago. Chicago's offense just isn't there outside of Tariq Cohen. They just have nothing down there. Jordan Howard is banged up and he's not performing well. And they have no receivers. Their quarterback is fucking Mike Glennon. And the Steelers should just feast on a bad Chicago offense. If they can shut down Tariq Cohen, they can shut down Chicago. So I really like the Steelers this week. Next on the list is Bucks at Vikings. This comes with a huge caveat. I really like the Bucks defense versus the Vikings if Sam Bradford is out again. Because Case Keenum is just not going to get it done, and the Bucks looks really good. They actually were my play this week. Against who did the Bucks play? Oh, the Bears. The Bucks were my play this week against the Bears. They scored a shitload of points, and so that makes the Steelers look even more like a good pick. And the Bucks without Sam Bradford on the Vikings, just pay very close attention to whether Sam Bradford is going to play. Because if he's going to play, I don't like the Bucks nearly as much as if Sam Bradford is the quarterback, or is not the quarterback for the Vikings that week. Then the Bucks are a very good pickup and play. And I don't think Sam Bradford is going to play this week. It's just a hunch I have. Is it normal to yawn every 5 minutes? I don't think it is. Just a yawn cast. I really like the Bucks. Is all I'm saying. If Sam Bradford isn't playing, the Bucks are a good defensive stream. Next on the list is the Dolphins at the Jets. I do not think the Dolphins have a good defense. Let me put that out there. This has everything to do with the fact that they're playing the Jets. That's why I liked the Raiders as a stream last week, and they were a pretty good stream. The same with the Dolphins. The same with every team that plays the Jets for the rest of the week. For the rest of the year, I'm sorry. I like the defense that has to play the Jets. Because the Jets are just awful. They're in full tank. And any defense will really get the job done against them. And the last defense on the list I have is the Falcons at Detroit. The Falcons defense looked really, really, really good against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. And I think Detroit's offense is not as good as the Packers' offense. So if the Falcons can look good there, they should look good at Detroit. They're probably my least favorite on this list. Unless Sam Bradford plays. But if Sam Bradford doesn't play, then the Falcons are probably my least favorite on this list. And I'd imagine one of the other teams is available. But if you're really in a bind and you can't find any of those other guys, you'll be fine with the Falcons at Detroit, I think. And we will move on to Waiver Wire Wonders. That was it, by the way, for all of my streams. That's all the streams. Take the streaming advice. Use the streaming advice. You know we don't give a fuck about quarterback. And you know, so far, I just want to point out, so far on my defensive streams, I played the Rams week 1. They were like one of the highest scoring defensive units that played. And then I played the Buccaneers, who are one of my defensive streams last week. And the Buccaneers were one of the highest scoring defensive units. So I have been on the money with defensive streamers. So just pay attention to that, I guess. I've been really on the money. So Trevor Siemian, Jay Cutler, Jared Goff, quarterback streamers. Ravens at Jacksonville. Steelers at Chicago. Buccaneers at Vikings. Dolphins at Jets. And Falcons at Detroit for my defensive streamers. And we'll go on to Waiver Wire Wonders right now.
And I wonder if you know the wonder of it all.
Alright guys, Waiver Wire Wonders. you guys know the rule with waiver wire wonders. All of the guys I'm going to list to you are less than 50% owned, which means they are probably available in your leagues. And I think from here on out, they should have somewhat decent seasons or can at least help you plug and play for a week or so. Starting off the list is the highest owned guy I have on here, and that is J.J. Nelson, the new number one wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. John Brown has just been riddled with injuries. He's already been confirmed to be out for week 3, or at least it's not looking good. Carson Palmer trusts J.J. Nelson. He throws to J.J. Nelson often, and J.J. Nelson has looked good for 2 straight games now. He's owned in 18% of leagues, and he is a number one wideout. I know Larry Fitzgerald is on that team, but for some reason it just doesn't look like Larry Fitzgerald is clicking with Carson Palmer this year. I don't know what that is. I'm really upset about it because I have Larry Fitzgerald in a lot of leagues. I thought he would have another huge year, but that whole offense just seems off. And without John Brown there, J.J. Nelson is taking that role, and he is definitely worth a pickup if he is available. And you are weak at wide receiver depth. He's a startable option in my opinion, based on matchups purely. Moving on, the next on the list, I'll just go descending in percentage owned. So the next highest owned person I have on this list is Chris Carson. Chris Carson, I think, will be the starting running back in the shit pit that is the Seattle backfield very soon. Thomas Rawls was pathetic. Eddie Lacy was already a healthy scratch. It seems like Chris Carson got like 20 carries. The offensive line is still bad. The offense for Seattle in a whole just hasn't looked very good. They tend to be a second half team, especially Russell Wilson tends to come on in the second half of the year. It's pretty much been the story of his career. Same with Doug Baldwin. So maybe picking up Chris Carson now is the move. He's only owned in 8.7% of leagues, and I think he will be the starting running back. You might be able to wait a week on this waiver wire claim and see how he performs it the next game. Or you could get it in early and have who I think will be a starting running back by midway through the year. Next on this list is a guy I don't think you should wait on. I think you should pick him up right now, especially if you need running back help, especially if you lost David Johnson or anyone else last week. Did I have him on my waiver wire wonders last week? I'm looking through all my notes. I didn't. And I should have. It's Javorius Allen, or Buck Allen, as they call him. Terrence West is banged up. Danny Woodhead is out for more weeks. He's on the IR. Kenneth Dixon is gone. And Buck Allen is a 3-down running back. He's a bell cow. He got 20-something carries. He was involved in the passing game. And this is 2 straight weeks now. If you need running back depth, if you lost David Johnson, if you have DeMarco Murray and Jordan Howard, and they both are shitting the bed, if you have any, or if you just didn't draft good running backs, pick up Buck Allen. He's only owned in 8.2% of leagues, which is insane. He was one of the top scorers this week. I think he was one of the top scorers the first week at the running back position. He's gotten 20 carries the last 2 weeks. That's definitely a fact. And he's only owned in 8.2% of leagues. So take advantage of that and pick him up, please. Next on this list is a guy who's only owned in 5.9% of leagues, and he is a number one wide receiver. Granted, it's on what I would consider one of the top 3 worst offenses in the NFL, but he seems to be the favorite target there. and that's Jermaine Kearse. Jermaine Kearse is on the Jets. The Jets are awful, but someone has to catch the ball, and that seems to be Jermaine Kearse. He had a great week this week, pretty much because he caught 2 touchdowns on 4 receptions, but he's being targeted there, and if you really need, I mean, obviously, if you're strong at wide receiver, there's no need to go out and get Jermaine Kearse, but if you went running back, you know, you need some help at the receiver position, then Jermaine Kearse is there, and you'll get a number 1 receiver. Same with J.J. Nelson, but J.J. Nelson's owned in 18% of leagues. Jermaine Kearse is owned in 5.9. So if you miss out on J.J. Nelson, who I would rather have, but if you miss out on him, Jermaine Kearse is always there. And my last pick for the waiver wire wonders is a guy I talked about early in the fantasy field goals, and that is Ben Watson. Ben Watson had 1 catch week 1. It's clear the Ravens are very committed to running the ball. For a change, they're not asking Flacco to throw it 50 times a game, which is how the Ravens should be playing anyway. I can't believe that's how they used to play offense. But this past week, Ben Watson had 8 receptions on 9 targets for 90-something yards. That is Joe Flacco's MO. So we'd have to think that's Joe Flacco returning to the norm. So Joe Flacco targets the tight end more than any other quarterback in the league, except for maybe Brock Osweiler, who is terrible anyway. And Ben Watson is the best tight end on that team. So you might be able to get away and wait another week because tight end is tight end, and people might not have noticed Ben Watson's big game because he didn't have a touchdown. But the tight end in a Joe Flacco offense is always usually a tight end worth having. So if you see a repeat performance from Ben Watson this week, just look at the target numbers. Not so much the catch. I mean, obviously you want him to catch most of his targets. But 9 targets, 8 targets, 7 targets, 10 targets. Look for that target number, a high target number to Ben Watson again. And I would go in on him. He's only owned, this is an insane ownage ratio or percentage. He's only owned in 0.5% of leagues. So not even 1% of leagues is Ben Watson a tight end on a team. So go out there and get Ben Watson. If you have, tight ends that just haven't showed up, or you drafted a dumb tight end like O.J. Howard or David Njoku or something like that. I really like Ben Watson going forward, but I think you can wait on him one more week and just see what that usage is. He seems to have flown under the radar with the big game he had this past week. So that's it for waiver wire wonders. That's 5 guys for you right there that I think can help your team if you're weak in certain positions. 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a tight end. We'll move on to start, sit, and I will go through the games in week 3 and tell you who I like and who I don't like. Let's get into that.
I'm ready to go in, Coach. Just give me a chance. I know there's a lot riding on it, but it's all psychological. Just got to stay in a positive frame of mind.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains? Yeah, if Coach would have put me in 4th quarter, we'd have been state champions, no doubt.
All right. Let's get into start, sit. Who should we play in the upcoming week 3 matchups? And let's just run down the list as soon as my matchup thing loads here. Oh, I reloaded it. Alright, we're going to kick it off Thursday night with the most exciting of matchups, and that is the Rams at the 49ers. Todd Gurley is a must-play. 49ers rush defense is trash. Jared Goff is obviously a streaming candidate. Deep flexes for Cooper Kupp, or probably play Sammy Watkins if you need to. That's probably all I'd play from the Rams. On the 49ers side, you're playing Carlos Hyde. There's no reason to play Brian Hoyer. Pierre Garçon is a must-play. Even in bad games, I think he just gets so much target share. That's probably it for the 49ers. So probably just Carlos Hyde and Pierre Garçon. Next on Sunday is the Ravens at the Jags. I just don't think any of the Jags will have a good game. I mean, obviously you're probably playing Leonard Fournette. You played pretty high draft capital for him, and he's shown no reason not to play him the first two games. But I just don't like the matchup with the Ravens. So probably only Leonard Fournette from the Jaguars. With the Ravens, the Jaguars' defense is still pretty good. I'm probably playing Buck Allen because he's just going to be on the field that much. And probably Jeremy Maclin. And if you got to play Joe Flacco, I don't think the Jaguars' defense is as good as people are saying it is. I still think it's a good defense, but I don't think it's the shutdown defense that everyone thought it was. Especially not after the Titans just fucking demolished them, put up 40-something points on them or something like that. So I would feel comfortable playing Jeremy Maclin. And Ben Watson, if you have him, play him. Or wait a week and see what his usage is. But Jeremy Maclin and Buck Allen are my two main starts from that. Broncos, Bills. Avoid Tyrod Taylor like the plague. Avoid the Bills' offense like the plague. I would abandon my main man Charles Clay for this matchup. You gotta play Shady. I mean, you'd feel real stupid if you didn't play Shady and he rushed for like 150 yards. So play Shady, but that's probably it for the Bills. For the Broncos, you're gonna play Simeon for a streamer. If you need a streamer, you're gonna play all your Broncos. C.J. Anderson, Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders. Maybe not a tight end, but Simeon, Sanders, Thomas, C.J. Anderson. I'm playing all my Broncos versus the Bills. The Bills they're just trash. Steelers at Bears is the next game. Playing all my Steelers. Martavis Bryant, Big Ben, Lev Bell, Antonio Brown, and I'm playing Tariq Cohen for the Bears, and that's it. The Bears' offense is just Tariq Cohen. And, I mean, you're playing Jordan Howard probably if he's healthy. I can't imagine he's just going to stay on this track. Jordan Howard was seen in a sling after the game last week. I haven't seen anything on an injury report that says he's not going to play, but if Jordan Howard's playing, you should play him. He was the guy. He did come in second in rushing yards last year. You don't just lose your ability to run as a running back like that. Not when you're that young. So I'm playing Jordan Howard, I'm playing Tariq Cohen, and that's it for the Bears. And I'm playing all my Steelers. Saints at Panthers, I'm playing all my Saints. I know they lost to the Pats, but, the Saints offense is still the Saints offense. Panthers defense is not that good. So I'm playing Breeze, I'm playing Michael Thomas. I'm playing Ted Ginn in a flex position maybe if necessary. I'm probably playing Colby Fleener, who's been really showing out lately with Willie Snead gone. I don't know how much that holds up once Willie Snead is back in the fold. But for right now, with Willie Snead still not playing, I like Colby Fleener one more week. I think Willie Snead comes back week 4. And to me, you could probably play Alvin Kamara in a deep flex. And I like Mark Ingram as the running back there. I'm staying away from Adrian Peterson from now until forever. He's just not worthy of playing until I see something from him. For the Panthers, Greg Olsen went down with an injury. Broken foot, I think is what it is. He's going to be missing some time. The Saints defense is trash though, so you're playing Christian McCaffrey, you're playing Jonathan Stewart. Cam Newton's probably fine this week. Maybe even play Kelvin Benjamin. I would definitely work him into your lineup. And that's about it. I would definitely work Kelvin Benjamin in your lineup if Greg Olson's down. I don't like that Panthers offense though. It's just not. It's not great. But I would play all my Saints and all my Panthers. That'll be hopefully a good game for fantasy. At least on the Saints side. I'm nervous about that Panthers offense, but I'm still playing all those guys because it's the Saints defense. So, Buccaneers at Vikings. The Vikings defense is really good. I'm probably playing the running back. I'm probably playing Jaquiz and Mike Evans, obviously, for the Buccaneers. That might be it. For the Vikings, if Bradford's there, I'm playing everyone. Without Bradford there, I'm probably playing Dalvin Cook, and that's it. No one else really had a great game. The offense is pretty stagnant without Bradford there. So, yeah. Without Bradford, I'm probably playing Dalvin Cook. With Bradford, I think you play Diggs. I think you play Thielen. You definitely play Dalvin Cook, and you probably play Kyle Rudolph. Next up is the most exciting matchup of the week, and that is the Browns at the Colts. I don't know who the quarterback is for the Browns. If it's Kaiser again, Corey Coleman's out now. Who the fuck else is even there? Kenny Britt, I guess, steps up in that case. I'd probably play Crowell and Britt. And if Kaiser's healthy, he's probably a decent streaming option. I didn't put him in my streams, but the Colts defense is that bad. You could probably get away with playing Kaiser. I mean, he would be my least favorite out of all my picks, but you could probably get away if in an absolute pinch playing Deshaun Kaiser if he's healthy. For the Colts, I'm playing Gore, Hilton, I guess. God, the Colts offense is such shit. Moncrief. The Browns defense is shit too, so I'm probably just playing my Colts if I need to. You know, I would probably avoid them, but I'd probably avoid this game altogether. Unless necessary. You know, if you need a start, I would feel comfortable starting Crowell and Britt for the Browns and probably all the Colts. Jack Doyle is a good stream at tight end this week. He was targeted pretty good by Brissett. Don't play Brissett. For the Dolphins, the Jets, I'm playing all the Dolphins. Jarvis Landry is just a target monster with Jay Cutler there. And Devontae Parker is a big play waiting to happen, I feel like. I really like Jay Cutler this week. Obviously, he's a streamer. I'm playing Jay Ajayi is a lock. I'm playing all my Dolphins. And for the Jets, God, the Jets offense is awful. I'm probably only playing Jermaine Kearse. Like I said, in the waiver wire wonder, I'm probably only playing Jermaine Kearse, and that's only in like a deep flex or like in a really tough situation where I have no wide receivers. Or a Matt Forte, too, actually, because he's looked way better than Bilal Powell, and he's been getting more touches. I just don't like. I would play Matt Forte if you need the running back help. Maybe you're the David Johnson owner or something. Texans at the Pats. What Patriots do we get? That's the question. Do we get the Patriots that held the Saints offense to 20 points. We get the Patriots that let the Chiefs run up, 40-something points against them. Lamar Miller is always safe, it feels like. You probably play Nuke Hopkins for the Texans. And that's probably all I feel comfortable playing. For the Pats, who the fuck is even healthy? You play Gronk if he's healthy, obviously. Play James White. James White should be a lock at this point. With all the injuries to the various receivers, James White is going to see the ball more than ever. He is the running back to own, in my opinion, in New England. I'm playing James White. I'm playing Gronk if he's healthy. Obviously, you play Tom Brady. Probably play Chris Hogan if he's healthy. Probably play Mike Gillislee. That might be it. Brandon Cooks, obviously. Brandon Cooks has been kind of subpar lately, but it's a matter of time, really. It's definitely a matter of time. So, I'm probably playing Cooks, Hogan, White, Gronk, Gillislee, and Brady. Definitely play James White. Like, don't. If you can find James White, I don't know how many leagues he's available in. I should have checked that for my waiver wire wonder. He might be available in less than 50% of leagues. He might not be, too. I could sound really dumb. But if James White is on your waiver wire for whatever reason, go pick him up like this instant. It's not even like, if you need running back. No, it doesn't really matter the situation. If he's available, go grab him. Don't be stupid. He's going to get his touches in the Patriots games every week for as long as this receiving core is as diminished as it is, and I can't see it getting better anytime soon. So, Danny Amendola too. If Danny Amendola is healthy, 100% play him for this game. Moving on, we got Falcons at the Lions. I like all the Falcons, and I'm probably still playing all my Lions, even though I have the Falcons as a streaming defense. They were my least favorite of the ones I had. And right now the Giants have a touchdown against the Lions have a touchdown against the Giants, and the Giants have a very good defense. So I'm probably playing most of my Lions too. But I'm definitely playing all my Falcons. Next game is Giants-Eagles. The Giants obviously are playing OBJ, and that might be it. Maybe Sterling Shepard. And that's only if OBJ is healthy for the Giants. The Giants' offenses look terrible so far. They're playing right now while I'm recording this. I haven't really looked at what the score is yet. I know the Lions have a touchdown. I don't know if the Giants have answered back. But I'm probably only playing OBJ, and if he's healthy, and Sterling Shepard. For the Eagles, stay away from that entire backfield. I'm probably playing Zach Ertz, Alshon Jeffrey, and that's probably it. I want nothing to do with that backfield. You might be able to get away with playing Carson Wentz if you really need a streamer. But you could probably find a better quarterback. I would rather have any of those three streams that I had than Carson Wentz versus stingy Giants D. So, I'm probably just playing Zach Ertz and Alshon Jeffrey against the Giants. Seahawks at Titans. The Seahawks offense has been awful. That being said, the Titans defense is not that great. I'm playing Russell Wilson. I'm playing Doug Baldwin. If Jimmy Graham is healthy, he got hurt. He left the game. I don't know if he came back or not. If he's healthy, you probably play Jimmy Graham too. I gotta think that the Seahawks will figure it out at some point. The Titans, I'm probably staying away from Mariota this week. I'll probably just pick up a streaming quarterback. And I'm probably staying away from most of the Titans, to be honest with you. DeMarco Murray just hasn't shown it. And if you have better options on your bench, I'd almost play a wait and see for a week. He's been banged up too. Derrick Henry took the workload from him. And Corey Davis is hurt. I don't think Eric Decker can get it done. I just don't like the Titans this week against the Seahawks. Chiefs-Chargers, I'm playing all my Chiefs. Well, by all my Chiefs, I'm playing the 4 Chiefs that you always play. And that is Alex Smith, Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt, and Tyreek Hill. And yes, I would probably play Alex Smith until I see otherwise that he's gonna, shit the bed or turn back into the Alex Smith of old. He seems like a perfectly fine candidate to play along with any other quarterback. You know what I mean? And it's not like the Chargers defense has really showed what I thought they were going to be. On the other side of the ball, Chargers offense, you're playing Philly Rivers. Keenan Allen is target monster. You're playing him. Definitely playing Melvin Gordon. Maybe playing Tyrell Williams as a flex, or deep flex. And Antonio Gates seems to be the tight end to own there, but I don't know. I think I like other tight end options. On to the next game is the Bengals at the Packers. Are the Bengals going to turn it around ever? For the sake of the fact that I have Andy Dalton, I hope so. In a 2-quarterback league, so it's not like I can just drop him. I'm going to play Andy Dalton. I'm going to play A.J. Green. Tyler Eifert's banged up. That backfield is a fucking mess when it comes to fantasy. So I'm probably avoiding that. I'm probably playing Andy Dalton, A.J. Green, and I'm probably looking for a different tight end to play, to be honest with you. I don't know if I can trust Tyler Eifert with the injuries. For the Packers, I'm probably just playing all of my Packers. Jordy Nelson went down, so I really like the uptick that Randall Cobb and Devontae Adams will get. Ty Montgomery is a fucking stud this year. I'm definitely playing Ty Montgomery every week. He should be a locked and loaded, no matter the situation, no matter the matchup, you should be playing Ty Montgomery. Obviously, you're playing Aaron Rodgers, so that's probably it for tight ends. Or for the Packers, I'm playing is Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams, Ty Montgomery, and Aaron Rodgers. Next up is Raiders at the Redskins. I'm playing all the Raiders. They've just been unstoppable. Michael Crabtree is a fucking beast. I'm playing Marshawn Lynch. I'm playing Amari Cooper. I'm playing Derek Carr. Redskins offense doesn't look like it can do anything. I'm playing Fat Rob if he's healthy. He was a stud last game when they decided to start running the ball. I'm playing Terrell Pryor. Probably still playing Kirk Cousins for one more week and see what he does. I'm probably playing my Redskins, to be honest with you. It's not like the Raiders' defense is very scary, so there's that. Cowboys at Cardinals. I'm playing Dez. I'm playing Zeke. Playing Dak. I'm probably playing Witten. Maybe Cole Beasley as a deep flex. Cardinals. I think there's a better streaming option than Carson Palmer. I don't know what that backfield is. I'm probably only playing J.J. Nelson for the Cardinals. Maybe Jaron Brown, as a deep flex. Other than that, it's probably just J.J. Nelson. And maybe Chad Johnson if you have him. I did see a report that he's expected to get more touches, but I can't imagine you're in a situation where you have to play Chad Johnson. So probably just J.J. Nelson for that game. And that wraps up the games, guys. So hopefully you are sitting at 2-0. And we can get to 3-0 after this week. But maybe you're at 2-0. It's just been a weird fucking fantasy, first 2 weeks. People who I thought were locked and loaded studs have just not been performing like locked and loaded studs. And some have. Some people come out of nowhere, it seems like. Kareem Hunt. Yeah.